In a grand hall filled with elegantly dressed guests, Anna stepped inside quietly, wearing a simple, modest dress. Many turned their heads, whispering and exchanging looks of disbelief. "She really thinks she belongs here?" one woman scoffed. "Look at her, so plain and out of place," another muttered. But Anna stood tall, her eyes calm and determined. She wasn't here to fit in, she was here to follow her dreams, no matter what anyone said. Anna took a deep breath and stepped forward. She tried to introduce herself, her hands slightly trembling as she spoke. "My name is Anna. I may not look like much, but I have a dream, to start a community center for single mothers. I believe every woman deserves a chance to rebuild her life." Before she could finish, a sharp laugh echoed from the crowd. "Community center? With what money?" a man in a tailored suit sneered. "She can't even afford a proper dress," another woman whispered, her diamond earrings glinting under the chandelier lights. Anna's cheeks flushed, but she kept her gaze steady. The murmurs grew louder, the condescending smiles more pronounced. "She's out of her league," someone muttered, loud enough for Anna to hear. Anna swallowed her pride, straightened her back, and forced a small smile. Her eyes remained fixed on the stage ahead, the place where she intended to make her dream a reality, regardless of the mocking voices around her. Anna sat alone on a bench in the garden behind the event hall. The soft, warm lights cast gentle shadows across her downcast face. Kara, Anna's best friend from high school, approached with 2 glasses of water. She handed one to Anna and sat down beside her. "Are you okay?" Kara asked softly. Anna took a sip, her gaze fixed on the distant skyline. "They laughed at me, Kara. They said I don't belong here, that I can't do it." Kara placed a comforting hand on Anna's shoulder, her eyes firm. "Anna, do you know what they see? They only see your clothes, your simple look. They don't see your heart, your passion. But you can make them see." Anna shook her head, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "But how? They're all so powerful, so rich. I feel like I don't belong." Kara held Anna's hand tightly. "Listen to me. You don't need money to prove your worth. You have a dream, a purpose, and that's more powerful than any of their wealth. You just need to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you." Anna took a deep breath, fighting back the tears. "You're right. I can do this. I will do this." Kara nodded, a warm smile spreading across her face. "That's the Anna I know." Anna sat at the small wooden table in her cramped living room, surrounded by stacks of handmade candles. The scent of lavender and vanilla filled the air as she carefully poured hot wax into glass jars. Sweat beaded on her forehead as she wiped her hands on her apron. The room was cluttered with supplies, boxes of wicks, essential oils, and packaging materials. Despite the mess, her eyes shone with determination. Each candle was crafted with care, each label handwritten with the name of her brand, Serene Light. It was simple, but it was hers. Later that evening, Anna stood in the local market, a small wooden stall adorned with her candles. People passed by without even glancing at her products. Some looked, sniffed, then walked away. One man chuckled to his wife, "Handmade candles? Probably won't last a week." Anna's jaw tightened, but she forced a polite smile. Deep down, her confidence wavered, but she reminded herself of Kara's words. "You have a purpose. Believe in it." A woman in her late 40s approached the stall and picked up a lavender candle. She inhaled deeply and smiled. "This is lovely," the woman said. "How much?" Anna's heart leaped. $5. And, if you buy 2, you get a small one for free." The woman nodded. "I'll take 2. As Anna wrapped the candles carefully, a sense of hope flickered in her chest. It was a small start, but it was a start. Anna sat alone in her small kitchen, sipping a cup of lukewarm tea. The room was silent, except for the occasional creak of the wooden floorboards. She stared blankly at the flickering candle on the table, one of her own creations. A knock on the door pulled her from her thoughts. It was her cousin Mia, holding a plastic bag filled with leftovers. Mia's eyes scanned the room, taking in the clutter of candle supplies and the stack of unsold candles in the corner. "So, still making those candles, huh?" Mia's tone was a mixture of pity and skepticism. Anna forced a smile. "Yes, I am. I actually made a few sales at the market last week." Mia shook her head, placing the bag of food on the counter. "Anna, you're wasting your time. You need to get a real job. Stop dreaming. You're not some big entrepreneur. Anna swallowed hard, her fingers tightening around the teacup. I just need more time, Mia. I believe in this. Mia crossed her arms, her brows furrowing. You believe in what? Making a few bucks selling candles while everyone else is moving forward? Look around you. You're still in this tiny apartment, struggling to pay rent. Anna lowered her gaze, her chest tightening. That evening, Anna visited her parents' house for dinner. As they sat around the dining table, her father sighed heavily, placing his fork down. Anna, sweetheart, he began, his tone weary. I heard you're still selling those candles. When are you going to accept that it's just not working out? You have a degree. You could get a stable job. Her mother nodded, eyes filled with concern. We just want you to be secure. Candle making isn't going to get you anywhere. Anna clenched her fists beneath the table, her eyes stinging. Later that night, as she lay in bed, their words echoed in her mind. It's not working out. Get a real job. You're wasting your time. But as she looked at the flickering candle beside her bed, a stubborn resolve stirred within her. She wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. Anna sat alone in a coffee shop, her notebook filled with scribbled ideas and half-formed business plans. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee lingered in the air as she took a deep breath, trying to hold back her frustration. Nothing seemed to be working. A man in a tailored suit entered, his presence commanding attention. He ordered a coffee and glanced around, his eyes landing on Anna. Noticing her furrowed brows and the stack of unsold candles beside her, he approached. Mind if I sit? He asked, gesturing to the empty seat across from her. Anna hesitated, then nodded. Sure. He placed his coffee down and smiled. I couldn't help but notice your candles. You make them yourself? Yes, Anna said, a hint of embarrassment in her voice. But it's not going as well as I hoped. The man leaned forward, his gaze warm but firm. You know, every successful business started somewhere, even with a single product. Anna's eyes lit up. You think so? Absolutely, he said, pulling out a business card and sliding it across the table. I'm Leo Carter. I run a few businesses myself. How about we meet next week? I might have some advice, and perhaps a little funding to get you started. Anna's heart pounded as she stared at the card. Could this really be happening? Leo stood up, adjusting his suit jacket. And one more thing, don't let people's opinions define your worth. You're the only one who gets to decide that. With that, he walked away, leaving Anna clutching the business card with trembling fingers. That evening, Anna sat alone in her tiny apartment, the business card still in her hand. For the first time in weeks, a glimmer of hope sparked in her eyes. Maybe, just maybe, her dreams weren't as impossible as everyone thought. Anna's small apartment now bustled with activity. Boxes of candles were stacked everywhere, ready to be shipped. The once quiet workspace was now filled with the scent of lavender, vanilla, and rose, her signature scents that had begun gaining popularity. Anna sat at her kitchen table, laptop open, eyes wide with disbelief as she scrolled through her online store. Orders were flooding in, each notification a small victory. A close-up shot of her hands packing the candles, tying each with a delicate ribbon. Every detail was carefully crafted, and it showed. On social media, her posts were being shared widely. People were drawn to her story, a woman once mocked for her simple dreams, now turning those very dreams into a thriving business. A video of Anna pouring hot wax into molds gained thousands of views. Comments poured in. She's so inspiring. Can't believe people once doubted her. I just ordered 3 candles. Can't wait to try them. Anna's former critics couldn't believe what they were seeing. Amelia, one of the women who had once laughed at Anna's dreams, sat in her living room scrolling through her phone. Every post she saw was about Anna's candles. She's actually doing it? Amelia muttered, eyes narrowing. Meanwhile, Anna remained focused, her mind set on the next goal. With Leo's guidance, she was now planning to launch a new product line, one that would further elevate her brand. But as her business grew, so did the whispers. Some praised her for her tenacity. Others, like Amelia, harbored resentment. And the tension was just beginning to build. Anna stepped into the grand ballroom, her posture upright, her gaze steady. This time, she wasn't the woman in a simple, outdated dress. She wore a sleek, elegant gown that complemented her figure, a design from her own brand. As she moved through the room, whispers filled the air. The very same people who once sneered at her now couldn't take their eyes off her. "She looks stunning," one woman murmured, nudging her friend. "That's Anna, right? The candle businesswoman?" Another guest asked, eyes widening in surprise. Amelia, standing near the buffet table, felt her heart drop. She watched as Anna confidently greeted other guests, exchanging polite smiles and handshakes. Anna's eyes met Amelia's for a brief moment. Instead of resentment or arrogance, Anna simply nodded, her expression calm and composed. Leo appeared beside Anna, handing her a glass of champagne. "You're doing great," he whispered. Anna smiled, taking a small sip. "I never thought I'd feel so at home here." Meanwhile, Amelia clutched her champagne glass tightly, her knuckles white. The realization hit her hard. Anna wasn't just back. She was thriving. As the evening progressed, guests began to gather around Anna. Their tones were softer now, no longer dripping with condescension, but filled with forced warmth and curiosity. A woman who once ridiculed Anna's simple attire stepped forward, nervously adjusting her pearl necklace. "Anna, I just wanted to say, your business is truly inspiring. I had no idea you were so accomplished." Anna smiled gently, her expression calm. "Thank you. I suppose sometimes it takes a little more time for people to see the bigger picture." Another guest, a man who once sneered at her, raised his glass. "You really proved everyone wrong, Anna. Congratulations on your success." Anna nodded, her gaze unwavering. "Thank you. But it wasn't about proving anyone wrong. It was about proving myself right." Amelia stood at a distance, watching the crowd gather around Anna. Each compliment felt like a sting, each word of praise a reminder of her own arrogance. She hesitated, then slowly approached Anna. "Anna, I just want to apologize. I was wrong about you." Anna looked at Amelia, her eyes soft but unreadable. "Thank you for saying that." Amelia swallowed, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "I really didn't mean to, make you feel small." Anna took a deep breath, her voice gentle. "It's all right. I've learned that some people only see what they want to see. But I hope you'll start seeing things differently now." Amelia nodded, biting her lip. "I will." Anna placed a comforting hand on Amelia's arm. "Good. It's never too late to change." Anna stood at the center of the stage, the spotlight shining down on her. The crowd, now hushed and attentive, hung onto her every word. She took a deep breath, her eyes scanning the room. "A few years ago, I was just a woman with a dream. A simple dream that many laughed at. They said I was foolish, unrealistic. They said people like me don't belong in rooms like this." A few guests shifted uncomfortably in their seats, recognizing their own past words in her statement. "But I didn't let their words define me," Anna continued, her voice steady. "I kept pushing forward. There were days when I didn't have enough to eat, nights when I thought about giving up. But every time I looked in the mirror, I reminded myself of why I started." Anna paused, her eyes softening. "It wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about proving to myself that I was right to believe in my dream. That I was right to believe in myself." The audience was silent, captivated by her calm but powerful words. "I learned that success isn't about wealth or status," Anna said, her gaze unwavering. "It's about perseverance. It's about kindness. It's about staying true to who you are, even when the world tells you to be someone else." A few guests nodded, their expressions reflecting admiration and perhaps a hint of shame. Anna smiled, her eyes glistening. "If there's one thing I want you all to remember tonight, it's this: no dream is too small, and no person is too insignificant. Sometimes, the ones you overlook today are the ones who will inspire you tomorrow." Thunderous applause filled the room as Anna stepped back, her heart full but her spirit humble. After Anna stepped down from the stage, the atmosphere in the room shifted. Conversations buzzed softly, but the tone was different now, less condescending, more reflective. Amelia, the woman who had once mocked Anna when she first entered, now stood silently in a corner. She held a champagne glass, but there was no enthusiasm in her eyes. Her gaze remained fixed on Anna, who was now surrounded by people congratulating her. A friend approached Amelia, letting out a sigh. "Did you hear her story? I can't believe we used to laugh at her." Amelia bit her lip, her eyes filled with regret. "Yeah, I thought she was just another nobody trying to fit in. But look at her now. She's not just wealthy, she's powerful in ways we couldn't even imagine." Across the room, an elderly couple who had once shaken their heads when Anna talked about her dreams now whispered to each other. "Did you hear how she started with almost nothing?" the husband asked, his voice lowered. The wife nodded, her eyes downcast. "We judged her by her clothes, by her simple demeanor. But she was stronger than any of us. I feel so ashamed." Anna maintained a calm smile, responding kindly to every person who congratulated her. But inside, she wasn't feeling triumph or revenge, only a sense of calm and closure. She walked over to the window and gazed out at the city lights. The image of the old Anna, the girl who was once ridiculed for her seemingly foolish dreams, slowly faded away, giving way to a woman who had risen above it all with grace and strength. After the event ended, Anna stood alone by the bar, taking a sip of champagne as she gazed thoughtfully into the distance. A sense of calm and relief washed over her. Suddenly, a well-dressed man in his 50s approached her. It was Mr. Robert, a prominent and influential investor in the industry. He smiled warmly. "Anna, I've heard about your journey. Truly inspiring." Anna turned to him, nodding politely. "Thank you, Mr. Robert. I just tried my best not to give up on my dreams." Robert took a sip of his drink, then leaned in slightly. "I'm working on a major project, and I believe we could collaborate. With your persistence and vision, I think we could do something extraordinary together." Anna felt a slight surge of surprise. In the past, people like Robert wouldn't have even noticed her. But now they were approaching her, not because of her newfound wealth, but because of her proven talent and resilience. She offered a calm, poised smile. "That sounds intriguing. I'd love to hear more about it. But first, I want to ensure that its core values align with the principles I stand for." Robert's expression softened, a newfound respect evident in his eyes. "Absolutely. I'll send you the details. I look forward to what we can accomplish together." Anna shook his hand firmly. This time, her smile wasn't one of humility, but of quiet pride, the pride of a woman who had once been mocked but was now the center of major business opportunities. After Robert left, Anna sat alone in a corner, her hand still holding the champagne glass. She looked around the room. The same people who once mocked her were now toasting to her success and seeking her attention. A close friend approached, eyes sparkling with excitement. "Anna, you've got it all now. Why not just enjoy it? Relax, travel, shop. You deserve it." Anna shook her head slightly, her gaze distant. "I used to think that too. But after everything I've been through, I realized wealth and comfort aren't what truly make me happy." The friend frowned. "Then what does?" Anna took a deep breath, her voice warm and resolute. "Helping those who are where I once was. I want to expand my business, not just to make money, but to create opportunities for women who've been overlooked like I was. If I could rise from nothing, so can they." The friend looked at Anna, eyes filled with surprise and admiration. "You've really changed, Anna. You've become stronger than ever." Anna smiled. She stood up, leaving the champagne glass behind, and walked confidently toward the exit. On her way out, she texted Robert. "I will consider the partnership, but I want the project to truly give back to the community. If you agree, I'm in." She hit send and stepped outside, where the moonlight cast a gentle glow, as if illuminating the path forward for her to continue her journey. Anna left the hotel, walking down the street toward home. Leaving behind the dazzling lights and the noisy crowd, she felt the cool breeze gently brushing against her face. When she reached her small, modest house, Anna paused at the old wooden gate, its familiar creak welcoming her home. She slowly opened the door and stepped inside, taking a deep breath to savor the comforting scent of her home. The living room was simple, a worn-out sofa, a few potted plants, and a handmade rug she had woven herself back in the days. Anna placed her bag on the table, slipped off her heels, and walked barefoot across the cool wooden floor. She made her way to the backyard, a place where she had planted rows of roses. The flowers were now in full bloom, their sweet fragrance filling the air. Anna sat down on a small wooden chair, her eyes softly gazing at the flowers swaying in the wind. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a text from Robert. "I truly respect your decision. Keep doing what makes you happiest." Anna smiled, set the phone aside, and closed her eyes, letting the calmness wash over her. Finally, she had returned to herself, a simple yet strong woman, living without the need for luxury, yet radiating confidence and contentment. Anna sits by the window, the soft afternoon sunlight casting a warm glow on her face. She leans her head against the window frame, her eyes gazing into the vast, open sky. Fluffy white clouds drift by slowly, reminding her of the days when she was just a simple woman with dreams that seemed impossible. She remembers the mocking stares, the scornful whispers when she was just a woman with big dreams and little support. But now, she has proven that true strength doesn't come from appearances but from perseverance, courage, and the refusal to give up. A gentle smile spreads across her lips. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and lets the calmness wash over her soul. True success is not about appearances, but the courage to dream and never give up. If this story inspired you, hit the subscribe button for more heartwarming and impactful stories.